So my project is on the Japan 2011 tsunami. So a little bit of background about Japan is that it consists of many islands, the biggest four being Hokkaido, Shikoku, Honshu, and Kyushu. So the islands were made from the subduction zones or volcanoes that erupted before. And so subduction zones consist of shallow to deep earthquakes, which Japan is known for, volcanoes, which they have, deep trenches, and mountains. And Japan borders the Ring of Fire, so basically that's places in the Pacific Ocean where active volcanoes and earthquake frequency a lot. So the event, there was a fault that slipped, triggering an earthquake from the tectonic plates. And so the earthquake happened on March 11, 2011. It was on a 9.1 magnitude, around there, and it was the largest earthquake in Japan. So after the earthquake, it triggered a tsunami, which reached a height of 130 feet. And then the tsunami also took out the nuclear plants in Fukushima too, which also led to radiation and other deaths as well. So the geologic study. So studies of tsunamis began in 1896 in Japan. So they have systems that announces tsunamis after earthquakes, but it wasn't really as effective. But after 2011, they have C4 network observations installed in trenches that announces the incoming of tsunamis, and then many other studies came from surveys and eyewitnesses. So some of those tools that scientists use to study tsunamis are the Trimble GPS rover, TLS, LiDAR, RIGO, VZ400, DLT, and PIV analysis method. So they basically turn some of them turn things into like 3D to look at the tsunami in 3D point of view, and then some of them like measure the distance and the earthquake and how far it goes. So the effects of the tsunami, about 123,000 houses were destroyed from it, and then 98% of those damage came from tsunami, because Japan is prepared for earthquakes, but they're not prepared for tsunamis. So that's why the earthquake didn't damage the houses a lot. Then that's why the tsunami did instead. And then as of right now, it's the most expensive natural disaster to happen, and 18,000 people died, and thousands more were never found. And like I said before, the tsunami triggered a nuclear reactor that killed a bunch of people in Fukushima, and there were elderly people that volunteered to clean up the mess, and a lot of people's lives were lost either due to the earthquake, tsunami, or the nuclear reactor. So there was a lot of psychological mess that people suffered too. So for future references or outcome, we have to think about Japan's geological feature. Like I said, it borders the Ring of Fire, and Japan itself is made of active volcanoes, and it's in the subduction zone. So meaning earthquake will always happen to this magnitude. Again, we do not know, but earthquakes will happen, and tsunamis will also follow after the earthquakes happen. And so they install, like I said before, they install warning systems and stuff already, but they're gonna have to install more. And then they also come up with evacuation plans for the people to go and hide or go away where the tsunami or the earthquake trigger is being triggered. And then they need more research regarding tsunami, earthquake, and more regarding building infrastructures, because a lot of, like I said before, a lot of the buildings got damaged from tsunamis, not the earthquake, the tsunami. So they need to work on their infrastructures and grow from there. And then the last slide is my sources.